Previously on Peter Screws the Pooch, I tell you to stay away from this. Instead, you hacked a multi-million-dollar suit so you could sneak around behind my back doing the one thing I told you not to do.
Is everyone okay?
No thanks to you.
No thanks to me? Those weapons were out there and I tried to tell you about it, but you didn't listen. None of this would have happened if you would just listen to me. If you even cared, you'd actually be here.
I did listen, kid.
Who do you think called the FBI, huh?
Do you know that I was the only one who believed in you? Everyone else said I was crazy to recruit a 14-year-old kid.
I'm 15.
No, this is where you zip it, all right? The adult is talking. What if somebody had died tonight? Different story, right? Because that's on you. And if you died, I feel like that's on me. I don't need that on my conscience.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Sorry doesn't
I
cut it.
understand. I just wanted to be like you.
And I wanted you to be better. Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need the suit back.
For how long?
Forever. Yeah, that's
No,
how it works.
please, Mr.
Let's
Stark,
have it.
you don't understand. Please, this is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it, okay? Gotta sound like my dad.
Okay, ready? Hello? Hello? Please! Hey, please! I'm down here! I'm down here! I'm stuck! I'm stuck! I can't move! I can't...
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Come on, Spider-Man. Come on, Spider-Man. Come on, Spider-Man! Oh, come on, Spider-Man!
They think I can't do it. They believe I won't do it. They said I lack talent. They say it's impossible. They are right. It is impossible for them. They do not define me. I define me. They do not set the standards. I set my own standards. They cannot impose limits. I have no limits. They cannot control how I feel. I decide how I feel. I decide how I react. I decide how I respond to every event, every situation, every setback, every challenge. It is me versus me. I alone decide who I will become. They can judge, they can assume, they can point the finger. Their judgments are ignored. Their assumptions aren't welcome. Their finger will point to the destination I'm not going. I'm only headed in one direction, and that is to the top, to growth. My focus is not on their opinion. My focus is on what I can do. My focus is on what I will do. They can't stop me. I am unstoppable. They can't limit me. I am limitless. They can't define me. I am undefinable. They can label me, but I rip those labels off. I decide who I will become and no one else. They will always be a step behind me because their focus is on me. My focus is on my own path.
My past can remind me, but it won't define me. Others can guide me. They can walk beside me, but they will not define me. They will not limit me. They will not stop me or even slow me. My mistakes guide me. They do not define me. They are lessons, not sentences. Lessons to learn, lessons to grow, lessons to better who I was. Because who I am is much bigger, and who I will be is in my hands.
My judgment is reserved for myself. My life will be defined by my work, by my effort, by my sacrifice, by me, only me.
Leave the past behind so you can focus on your future. Die to the past so you can live fully now. You must let go of your past pain, your struggle, your story. Not because it wasn't important, but because your future, your life is more important. You see, you can't change your past. Grudges will never get you where you want to be. Holding on to something you can't change is insanity. Let go of it so you can live. You see, I could have focused on all that was wrong with my life. I could have played the victim card. I had every right to curse the world for putting me in this position, for placing me in this neighborhood. Why should I rough it out and others live in luxury? Why should I suffer and others live free? Why should I be homeless while others take for granted the roof over their heads? But I believe I needed to see all of that, to go through all of that, to become the human I am today. I chose not to be defined by my circumstances, but defined by my attitude towards being my circumstances. Defined by my ability to rise above. Rise above to the racism, limitation, and lack. Rise above lack of ambition around me. Rise above negativity. Rise above everything. You see, I believe God only gives us what we have the strength to overcome. I believe God only gives us what we need to become strong. The pain I've been through, the struggle I've been through, it was all needed for me to be here today. You can't feel for others at rock bottom if you haven't been there yourself. You can't have courage if you haven't had to fight through your fears. You can't have strength if you haven't had to get up time and time again from when life beats you down. You can't have compassion without suffering. You can't help others if you haven't felt helpless. I chose to leave my past behind. I decided my future was more important than holding on, than saying, why me? Why me? No, no, I say try me. Life tested me and I won. Life will be back. Life will test me again. But I now know I have the strength to overcome. You cannot write the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the first one. The first one is no good compared to the rest. You are the author of your story. Don't let others hold the pen. Don't let your past publish your book. This is your story. Be brave when writing your story. Dream big. Know you are strong. So much stronger than you give yourself credit for. Leave the past behind. Plan now. Leave the darkness of your past behind so you can focus on letting in the light of your future. You're bright, future.
I said, I can't move. I said, there's a shock going through my whole body. I can't feel anything, man. I still remember the day I was in the film room watching film, and I was watching the California Bears, and my defensive backs coach, Larry Slade, came in the room. He said, Inky Johnson, I got some good news for you. And I dropped the clicker, and I said, Coach, what is it? He said, son, you're a projected top 30 draft pick. He said, all you have to do is play these next 10 football games. You're an automatic multimillionaire. I ran out of the room. I got on the phone. I called my mother and my grandmother. I said, listen. I said, after this season, our lives are about to change forever. And little did I know our lives were really about to change. The first game we come out, play against California Bears. I get an interception. We shut them down. We get the victory. Second game, we're playing against Air Force. It gets late in the game, found ourselves in a dogfight. And I approach the tackle like I approach any other tackle. And the way I'm approaching it, either I'm going to knock you out or you're going to knock me out. I'm 165 pounds. I can't play with anybody. But at the point of contact, when I hit this guy, something different happened that had never happened to me before in my life. I hit him, and it seemed as if every breath in my body left. My body went completely limp. I fell to the ground. I blacked out. I looked at the doctor because I couldn't feel my right arm. They had poked me with all type of needles. Inky, can you feel this? Can you feel? I couldn't feel a thing. They took me back. They ran the CAT scans, and they rolled me back into my room, and I'll never forget it. All in about a 15-second time frame, I was lying there in my bed. My father, he went to take a step in, and he looked at me, and he said, son, I can't do it. And he walked out. My mother, she came in, she was running. She kissed me on my forehead. She said a prayer. She said, Ink, everything is going to be okay. And she ran out. And as soon as my mother stepped outside of the room, the doctor rushed in from the opposite side, and he said, hey, get in here. We got to rush this guy back to emergency surgery. He's about to die. I said, what? I said, my mom just told me everything is going to be okay. He said, son, what happened? You have busted up subclavian artery in your chest. You're bleeding internally. I have to rush you back and take the main vein out of your left leg and plug it into your chest in order to save your life. And when I woke up from recovery, the same doctor was standing over me. He said, Inky, I have some good news and some bad news for you. I said, you got some bad news for me? After telling him I was about to die, I'm still alive. How bad can it get? I'm still here. He said, the good news is, son, we saved your life. I said, thank you, sir. He said, the bad news is you have nerve damage in your right shoulder. You probably can never play the game of football again in your life. I said, Doc, no disrespect, man, but I'm 8 games away. I've been working for this ever since I was 7 years old, Doc. There's no way. God, not now, God. Like, let me make it to the NFL so I can help my family first. Like, we miss meals. I said, there's no way. I never cheated. I never cheated myself. I gave everything I had to it, and I respected it. I never cheated. There's no way that my career can be over. I said, send me up to the Mayo Clinic. And after several visits, I'll never forget, this is when reality set in. It was me, my mother, my father in the room, and the doctors came in. They said, Inky Johnson, here's the deal. They said, son, we hate to tell you, but your arm, it would never be the same again. Your hand, it would never be the same again. Son, you can never play the game of football again. They said, son, here are your surgery options. We could take a muscle out of the back of your left leg, plug it into your right arm, but there's a possibility that you'll be left with a weak left leg and a weak right arm the rest of your life. Or we could take a nerve out of your left arm, reroute it up to your chest, down into your right arm, but there's a possibility that you'll be left with 2 weak arms the rest of your life. Or we could take a nerve out of your left rib, reroute it up to your chest, down into your right arm, but there's a possibility that you'll be left with a breathing problem and a weak right arm the rest of your life. By the way, tell us what you want to do in the morning. And the next morning, I walked into the doctor's office. They said, son, what option did you choose? I said, no disrespect to you, doc. I'm not choosing an option. My situation is out of your hands. I said, no disrespect to you, doc. Cut me where you got to cut me. I said, I know I will come out of this situation okay. As I stand right here on this stage before you today, they cut me 6 times down my left thigh. They cut me 2 times across my right rib. They cut me 2 times across my right pec. They cut me 1 time across the left side of my neck, 1 time across the right side of my neck. They cut me from the bottom of my armpit all the way down to the bottom of my hand. And after they got through cutting on me, they said, son, you're going to be in this hospital for the next 40 days. I walked out of the hospital on the 3rd day. They said, you broke a record. How did you do it? And I said, first and foremost, the thing I want y'all to understand, I will never let a circumstance or a situation define my life. But most importantly, you know what I had invested? I had sweat equity. I had been working my whole life. And what I didn't understand by being determined to chase something, by being committed to it, and what commitment is staying true to what you said you were going to do long after the mood that you have set it in has left. You see, people think commitment is saying, yes, I'll do it on the days when it feels good. But I have been committed to everything that I ever started in my life, and I never stopped and I never quit it. And so by being committed to everything that I started, I finished it. It built a certain type of spirit. It built a certain type of mentality. It built a certain type of individual. And so now I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I couldn't lay in the bed even if I wanted to. I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. I had too much sweat equity in my life and everything that I was doing. I understood the process is more important than the product. It wasn't about the outcome for me. Whether I made it to the NFL or not, that was inconsequential in God's plan for my life. But I was going to fall in love with that process because I understood by falling in love with that process, it was going to turn me into a machine. A lot of people need a little extra money to get motivated. A lot of people need, whatever the case may be, a little bonus to get motivated. I don't need anything but breath in my body and life. And every day I wake up, I understand I got 2 children depending on me. I understand I got a wife depending on me. I understand I got a world that needs me. The reason I go at life with the passion and the zeal that I go at it with is because I understand every day of my life is somebody in the world that is dependent on me. It may not be you, and if it's just about you, you're in trouble because I'm telling you, you're gonna hit something in life that's a lot tougher than you, and it's gonna test your will and it's gonna test your heart. And if it's just about you and if it's just about the product, it will crush you. Every day I get up, I understand it's somebody in the free world that's looking at me to see if I'm gonna keep going, and so I can't quit. And so I went back to school the next week after they had just saved my life. I was back in class. I had to learn how to write all over again. Had to learn how to walk all over again. Had to learn how to tie my shoe all over again. Had to learn how to bathe all over again. Had to learn how to live life all over again. Never one time did I say, let me go home, I need a break. You see, the thing we have to understand about everything that we're a part of, first and foremost, it's a blessing by God. And when it's a blessing, you can't help but to give everything you got to it. My life got saved. I got spared my life. I almost died. The doctor came to me on the field. He was on one knee and he grabbed my wrist and he said, son, you don't have a pulse. I don't even know how you're still living. The thing about it, my wound, like you can see this. You can see my arm. My wound is visible. But it's a lot of people in this room that are wounded and you can't see it. And it's internal. And so the opportunities that we pass up to be a blessing to other people, we can save their life with just one encounter. In my last doctor visit, they came to me and they said, sorry, Inky Johnson, you will never be able to use this arm or hand again in your life. I said, no disrespect to you, doc, but I will use this arm and this hand every day for the rest of my life by the way that I live my life. Every day I'm gonna impact someone's life. Every day I'm gonna empower someone. Every day I'm gonna inspire someone. Every day I'm gonna encourage someone.
Here we are in the pit of the valley right now, man. I know it's a little dark in your situation. I'm dressed in all black because I can feel your pain. I'm talking about something that determines your future and always seems to just let you down. Yup, those no's in life, that rejection. I just want to let you know you're not alone when it comes to being rejected and somebody telling you no. Understand, we all go through this. In life, at times, it feels like you're just being swayed by the momentum of everything that's going against you. I'm talking about rejection, when people seem to tell you no. But when I think of rejection, I think of people like Mark Ruffalo. That name ring a bell? Probably not. Try this, the Hulk. That's right, Hulk smash. My man has been smashed though. Before he was ever given this opportunity to be in those films, he was told repeatedly, no. I ain't talking 1 or 2 or 3 times. I'm talking over 600 times. Mark Ruffalo was told no, he wasn't good enough for the role. He wasn't prepared enough. Whatever it was, they found a reason to tell him no. But I'm here to tell you that just like Mark Ruffalo, we just have to stop giving so much energy to analyzing and just give the effort to get through those no's. That's right, no is just a stop sign. You might have to park for a second, but after that no, you gotta get going. So here you are parked after that rough situation where they've told you no. What do? How do you go forward? Well, I'm here to tell you, most people in the middle of the week, they're either 1 and 1, yep, that's right, where Monday has one up on you and you've lost one. And Tuesday, you probably bounced back and did what you had to do. But Wednesday is the day that you have to make a decision that will shape your week. So what would I tell you to do? What I would tell you to do is be prepared to outwork your situation. That's right, I don't care what situation that you're in. I don't care who put you in that situation. Stop playing the blame game and look in the mirror and say, I will outwork this situation. What is it gonna take? It's gonna take your effort, your determination, your tears, and one more mile. Every time you get a no, go back and give more effort, give more attention, give more and more and more. The only thing that no is telling you is that you haven't given your very best yet. And I'm here to tell you, when you give your very best, like my man Mark Ruffalo did, you will get that yes. And your yes will be greater than any role that you ever put yourself in position to get. I don't care if you're a doctor, preacher, lawyer, professional athlete, or a stay-at-home mom. Until you put your best foot forward, you're gonna continue to get those no's. So let the no's build you to be great and give one more mile of effort every time. They can tell you no as many times as they want, but you just keep coming. Let them know you're gonna be here for a while. One more mile.
Listen to me, man. You have a great life in front of you. But your great life is in front of you. It's not behind you. What you did back there ain't got nothing to do with what God got for you. What you did back there was learn the lessons to get you to where you are at this particular moment right here. But what God got for you, do you know, man, that you can actually mess your life completely up? You can jack it all the way up and you can turn around and get it right. Do you understand that? Do you understand that you could have had a baby out of wedlock and still be all right? Do you know that you can be divorced multiple times and still be okay? Do you understand that you cannot have a degree and still be just fine? You want to know how I know? Because I'm telling you what I know. I lost everything twice. I don't know if you've ever lost everything before, but I've been bottomed out twice. I done seen rock bottom 2 times. I've been through some walls up in here, man. I'm just trying to tell you, man, God is really with you. You ain't got to believe me. You ain't got to believe me. But keep doing it without God. Let me know how it worked for you. Matter of fact, write a book on how to make it without God. Because I want to read it. I want to read the first page. And then I want to read the last page because there ain't going to be but 2. You can jack your life all the way up. God is in the forgiving business. You can make all the mistakes you want to make or think you shouldn't make. God is in the get it together business. If you got dreams and visions, I got news for you. God is in the make your dream come true business. He did it for me. How he won't do it for you? A lot of y'all better than me. I'm just gonna flat out tell you. Most of y'all ain't done what I had to do to get to where I am today. You just ain't had to do this type of dirt. You ain't been homeless, so you ain't had to scrap like me. Most of y'all didn't come, you're not old as me. I've overcome it all because I have a relationship with him. And you can listen to me and tell that I'm not a perfect person. I am not a perfect Christian. I have my flaws. I am a flawed human being. But guess what? You are too. You ain't got it all together. I dare you to say you do. I make a lot of money, man. But guess what? I ain't got it all together. I'm hurting. I'm hurting, man. Everybody tripping through something. Everybody, I don't care who you are. You're going through something. But if you got God, you can make it. I'm just telling you this little piece of information. Look, I don't see most of y'all most of the time. So you're sitting here, you're kind of looking at me a little bit odd. Why Steve talking like this stuff? I'm just trying to put you on game. Because let me tell you, all y'all want to be successful. And you want to be happy, but you got to get there. It's a shortcut to getting there. The shortcut to getting there is the relationship with God. If you try it without him, you're going to fail miserably. You're going to sink, man. It's going to be ugly for you. Now, this is what you got to do. Identify your gift and get busy with it. God gave all of you a gift. Identify your gift. It is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. That's your gift. Get busy at that. If it's drawing, if it's teaching, if it's sharing, if it's caregiving, he put that gift inside of you. He didn't hide it under a rock or put it under the mountain or put it on the mountain somewhere. He put the gift in you. And you look at me any kind of way you want to. What I'm just telling you is real. That's how you become successful. Identify your God-given gift, what he gave you at birth. If you do that, God will open up the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing that you won't have room enough to receive. I am telling you, that is a fact.